to this special episode of the Smarter Building podcast, where we are bringing back insights from Autodesk University in San Diego. Today, I'm pleased to introduce you to Cher, Bill, and Steve from various departments within Symetri who all attended the event a few weeks back. So welcome, guys. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So before we get into your exciting insights, could you just each give us a little bit of background about yourselves and your roles at Symetri? Let's start with you, Bill.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Orr. I lead sales at Team D3, which is a recent acquisition from Symetri. I live in Austin, Texas. We are North America, US based Autodesk partner as a part of Symetri. And our areas of focus are AECO, the owner space, as well as manufacturing.
Excellent. And you, Steve?
Yeah, so I'm Steve Zacco. I've been with Symetri US for prior to that, 13 years. I come from the construction industry. I worked for my family-owned construction industry for about 13 years as well. I head up the construction business unit with a couple of team members here, Jim Sexton and Mike Kroom. And so it was exciting to go to AU this year.
Fantastic. And you, Cher?
Hi, everybody. I'm Cher Stacey. I have been with Symetri about 6 years now. I studied architecture, and I started off as just like an architectural consultant doing tech consulting. And I kind of joined our Symetri technology unit early on and am now one of our Navigate product managers specifying in Navigate architecture. And I also have my assistant here, which is Yaya. So yeah, she might help out.
Yaya, that's an interesting name. That means nan in Greek. I'm Greek Cypriot myself.
I've heard. It was just her name. I adopted her, so I didn't even get to pick it.
Hi, Yaya. So, to the main reason we are here today. So, what took each of you to AU? Have you all been before, or is it the first time attending for you? I think we'll start with you, Cher, because I know you were presenting something, weren't you?
Yeah, so this is my third in-person AU, my fourth AU overall back when, AU was virtual during COVID and everything. And I have a really strong tie to AU. I'm actually an Autodesk Expert Elite. So I'm part of the Autodesk community, and we do a lot of involvement with AU or during AU at the community zone. I'm also, I was a speaker this year. I did our Symetri sponsored session along with Shivani, who I think was on your podcast as well as some fellow colleagues on the Team D3 side as well, Jaina and Kim. I'm also a speaker mentor because I've been a speaker for 3 years now. So I mentor a lot of fellow speakers, first-time speakers, as well as just the last thing. I know this is a long list, but I'm also on the AU Advisory Council. So this year I got to be a part of helping to plan AU, which was really fun.
So I guess AU for you was less looking at all of the sessions, but more going around and looking at the speakers and helping them. Is that right?
Yeah, so I wore a lot of hats this year because we as Symetri were a big partner. We had our booth in the expo hall. So I was helping with the booth, but because of all of the other hats I'm wearing with being a speaker mentor, I was a speaker myself, a media post, and part of the advisory council, and being an expert elite part of the community, I kind of had to bounce around all those different areas and try to equally give my time to everything across the board, which was challenging. But I managed to also go to a couple of sessions, which I'm happy about. And I also did the Dynamo Hackathon, which is the day before AU, which was really exciting. I could talk about that later.
Nicole, Steve next. I don't want to cut out.
Yeah, that was wow. That was cool.
So I guess what brought you guys there as well?
Yeah. So what brought me there? This is my second AU. So I went last year, but it's just really a great venue to meet all our clients that are attending, also to strengthen our relationships with Autodesk leadership and Autodesk sales reps that are there as well. So I spent a lot of time meeting with clients, meeting with Autodesk directly. And then they do have some private sessions where not only partners can go to, but some clients can go to as well, where they show like the roadmap of Autodesk technology, and that's really valuable to me.
So in terms of the roadmap, is there anything that particularly stood out to you this year?
So there are things that stood out to me, but I'm not able to share because I believe to go part of those sessions, you had to be under NDA, right? So there's a lot of great things that are happening. And there's probably some things that we could share, but it's pretty much, going to be around some Autodesk AI coming out. But yeah, can't wait to share it with clients.
Hopefully in the next few months. And Bill, so what brought you to AU this year?
So this, boy, I go every opportunity. I think this is 6 AUs for me. I was an employee at Autodesk for a number of years, so I've attended from the employee side, as well as now this is my second year in the ecosystem, if you will, in the partner ecosystem, attending AU. The value is enormous from our perspective, or my perspective, I would say, and that it is an opportunity for us to meet so many of our clients face to face in this Zoom-centric world. We do an awful lot more sort of remote engagement with clients. And so these opportunities to get face to face with a large number of them at the same time is just invaluable. So kind of like I think Steve mentioned, it's sometimes difficult to get to sessions. Sessions are largely technical in nature. There are some that are more general session and keynote sessions that are always fantastic to see where Autodesk is going. You get, in 1 hour or 45 minutes or something, you get bombarded with all of the direction, all the new things that Autodesk is doing. So the value for me is twofold, really. It is the access to our clients face to face and having some really meaningful conversations with them, but then also understanding the bigger picture roadmap stuff. Where is Autodesk heading? And they do a phenomenal job.
So that's interesting. You've come from both sides. So do you feel like from being on the Autodesk side, it is actually achieving what it sets out to for customers?
Absolutely. I think one of my favorite experiences is getting to talk to a client or a customer for whom this is their first AU, and just looking at it through their eyes. Not that it gets old, but to see the thousands of people that attend and congregate in a general session, you get this, they get this, I certainly still do, but you get this just unbelievable impression of, oh my gosh, I had no idea this user community is so large, or the breadth of solutions that Autodesk offers is so large. That's really an enjoyable part of this experience for me, is just to expose clients to like this broader set of what Autodesk capabilities are.
Do you guys know roughly how many people did attend this year?
12,000.
Wow. Yeah.
Roughly. That's in person. I think there was about 6, there was more also who attended the free virtual or online AU. So I don't know the total number, but I think there was 12,000 in person.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think the thing to remember is that, at its core, AU is a user group. It's put on by the Autodesk users group, and it's a users group, and it's intended to offer training opportunities, access to product managers, access to roadmaps, insights, access to, we Symetri did, I think north of 15 individual technical training sessions where we bring our experts from our services organization, our technical professionals, and they get up in front of, a classroom full of people to do the training. So the value proposition, while I may say that it's for me to meet clients, the value proposition for the users is enormous. For them to come get access to training, education, and then make relationships one-on-one with some of those experts like Sheer, and that, begets follow-on conversations. So it's really I encourage I lead a team of 50 salespeople here. I encourage every one of them. This is the best event, single best event that you can expose your clients to, your customers to. Get them there, because of the learning opportunity for them is fantastic.
I think we often forget that is how AU sort of originated, right? It was based on for them to go and learn about the software they're using. But it's just become such a huge event. You've just said there's 12,000 people. Often all we see on social media is the parties and all the crazy AI stuff coming out. It's good to remember that is actually what it's there for.
Yeah, I think also to build on that, Bill, is that it's put on by people using the software, not just the partners. So, I probably witnessed one or two sessions where it was put on by some clients, and you can see how they're using the technology. And this way their other peers can see how they're implementing the technology as well. It's
a great point, Steve. That's a great point.
Yeah, it's just it was amazing. I was watching some of our clients on the way they are implementing their own AI solutions into some of the Autodesk solutions as well. So it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, those case study type sessions are so valuable because, like Steve said, you're seeing how people are actually implementing it on a project, showing their successes and their failures so you can learn from them. And it's a peer-to-peer from peer learning, which is amazing.
It's not all Autodesk talking about Autodesk. It is clients who are deploying the software talking about their experiences. And that's where I think the real value is for a client, a customer, a user to attend and participate in these sessions. Is there's so much more learning from somebody else who's trod this road before and has some scars from whatever attempts they may have made. And there's an opportunity to learn from that. And that's where I think the real value is I think, Sherry, you make a good point. The sessions, while they might have a technical person from the partner community is involved in it, there's almost always a customer alongside that person to lend their point of view.
Were there any particular sort of case studies or stories that stood out to any of you in particular?
I do actually have one. So one of our clients attended Resia, and what kind of really blew me away a little bit is how they created their own application, their own artificial intelligence, where they do site selection, and then how they tie that into BIM after the fact. So it was they hit upon they're designers, they build affordable housing, but they're designers, they're manufacturers, and they're a construction company. So it's that industrialized construction all into one. And you can actually, they got up there and they presented, here's some of the technology we created. So they had this AI site selection, then how they used, the Autodesk construction cloud as part of the construction process, how they built a manufacturing place in robotics, and how they're trying to connect all that data right now into that manufacturing process. So it was really, really interesting.
There was in the manufacturing main stage or keynote, they had General Motors as a customer up on stage, another client, Kennametal, that makes massively large machining equipment for the manufacturing environment. And they also had Bridgestone, who is a tire manufacturer. And each one of them kind of talks a few minutes about their own journey. I found the Bridgestone one interesting in that they are scanning right now all of their factories, all of their existing factories. They're scanning them to create 3D models, and then to monitor how productivity, energy usage. So they're modeling the outside, but the inside as well, putting sensors on the equipment inside the facilities, and then using all of this to create a digital twin environment of all of their factories. And they say, we run 24/7 in hundreds of factories around the world. And so it's bringing them insights. This digital twin modeling capability is sort of finally here. I think it's been talked about for years, but the technology and the ecosystem has matured to a point where you've got major manufacturers like Bridgestone putting it to work.
Did you have something to add there, Steve?
No, I just think that's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think, we get a lot of guests on the podcast talk about digital twin as well. And it just means so many different things to different people. So until you actually see what different clients are trying to achieve with it's just crazy, all the possibilities. And going back to you, Steve, obviously we've already spoken about AI multiple times here. So I saw that Autodesk has said they are investing big in AI. What did you guys all see? What did that mean to you?
Yeah, no, I think they are investing big in AI. And one of the things that I saw was like the AI assistant. They did have some demos on that, which I think is going to be really, really cool piece of technology, especially on the Autodesk Construction Cloud side. So, they were really talking about how they're going to use AI to automate processes, analyze data and really to augment creativity is kind of what I heard as the themes. And then they had this Autodesk assistant in one of the demos that I was going through or that they showed is how you can actually search like through models and specifications almost instantly. So on a construction firm side, if you need to go through a general set of specifications, those can be hundreds and hundreds of pages of stuff that you have to scan and read through. So here, like instantly showed like in highlighted where things were located within the specifications and links to how to get there. So again, I think it's really going to help people with a lot of searching and low level tasks. There were some things that they were using AI in terms of data analytics. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of it coming out in the future.
Can I chime in for a second? Because I have a more critical approach to what Autodesk is doing with AI because I was not as impressed with their presentation. I mean, like last year they announced that Autodesk AI, right? Like they didn't show anything, but they announced it. And I was really eagerly waiting this year to see what they are going to be giving architects, specifically architects and engineers, in terms of AI. And I was pretty disappointed because the biggest thing that I saw is, yes, there's the Autodesk Assistant, which is cool, but it's not something that's super revolutionary. I mean, everyone has like an assistant an AI assistant that they're putting out. There's Project Bernini, which has so much potential. The coolest things I saw, and I did see some really cool stuff, but that was all like media and entertainment. They had like the predictions, like the motion predictions for capabilities and learning how creatures or things move, which was really, really cool, but doesn't apply to anything I'm going to be doing. So I'm hoping that they'll come out with more things. And if Project Bernini actually, gets released, that will be really exciting. But I don't really have anything tangible at the moment to show for Autodesk AI.
I would add, I think your comments are fair, Sheer, but I think it is such a nascent industry at this point, development, that we're still so early on in the development of AI and its application and tools that it's almost unfair to look with a bit of negativity on Autodesk and where they are on it right now. I would say if this conference was scheduled 3 years ago, right, at this point in time, and if this conference would be 6 months from now, we might have a completely different viewpoint into what Autodesk is doing with AI. My feeling is they will dominate in this AI space. Look at the position that Autodesk has in our industries, our respective industries. How can they not play a major role down the line with respect to what AI can do and help their clients with?
You're 100% right.
It's just this point in time, and I while I saw similar things in the manufacturing sector, there were two main, I think, themes that I saw in manufacturing, and it was AI and data. And by the way, data gets turned around and said it's the most important thing to AI development. And while there wasn't, major reveal in benefit on AI in the manufacturing space, it was woven into every conversation. I think they can't not talk about it, right? Just given its visibility in the world right now. I did feel as though there was the subtext to the AI component that I witnessed was really much more about how it will help you do your job, not replace you. So, somewhat of trying to ease some potential concerns. Did you see that, Steve?
That's exactly what I heard as well.
Yeah.
Right. It's not going to replace your job. It's just going to help with a lot of low level tasks. And
I think I think the fear of AI replacing your job has gone away, hopefully, for most people. That like shock in the beginning the fear mongering we heard in the beginning. I never had that fear. I always believed the same thing, that it's going to help you with your job. And like with any technology, you're going to succeed if you can learn to adapt and utilize it. And it's going to help us, all of us, in the long run, do our jobs more successfully.
One of the speakers in the manufacturing track said words to the effect of, take a real coaching the audience, take a very realistic view on AI. By the way, the audience is not only the technical people inside our customers or clients, it's also the leadership inside our customers and clients, right? So the messages, I think they bounce between messaging on, how you run your business as well as how you do your job. But the vision cast was take a realistic view of AI. It is extremely powerful, but we still have lots to learn. And then they drew an analogy to a marathon versus a sprint, right? We're in a marathon right now. This is not a sprint with AI.
Yeah. I just wish there was something more tangible that I could use today.
Yeah. I think that also comes back to a point I was going to bring up, Cher, like is it just more hype at the moment? I think we're getting a lot of feedback from our customers too that, yes, okay, we know AI is going to be able to help us, but how? So there's not enough cases like you guys mentioned. There's no one really showcasing how to actually use it yet. But is that just a matter of time?
I believe it's a matter of time. I think some of the things, I think even the assistant, I think it's in beta as well. So I don't think these things are released yet, but they were making announcements. So we'll see when they come out.
I'll repeat something I said before. Like, you can't not talk about it right now. To be that size, that big of a player in your space, and not talk about it. So is it ready for prime time? Is there obvious help? I think there are in some pockets. I think we've seen for years, in fact, we've seen in Autodesk manufacturing portfolio, AI at place to create 100 different models, based on some inputs from the designer. And how many models do you want? Do you want 10? Do you want 100 that meet your constraints and your criteria? And now it's up to the designer to pick the best for their solution and refine that model. And there is a clear benefit, immediate, tangible benefit to that kind of AI applied to speed up the design process. So I think there are pockets where it's here and it's working, but yeah, there's probably some hype to it too.
Yeah. I mean, there are companies that I do a lot of research around different AI technologies that are helping architects, just because that's kind of part of my job as a product manager. We're trying to also implement AI in our Navigate software. So I do a lot of research and looking at other products that are doing it. And so that's why when I see that there is AI being implemented in things like visualizations and rendering and design automation already out there with other products, I kind of have this really high maybe too high, but I have a high expectation from Autodesk that, other people are doing it already. Why haven't you put out something that I can use yet? That's my only critique of it.
Very fair. I think it's very fair.
So, Cher, going back to something you touched on, I think you mentioned Project Bernini. So what actually did that involve? Could you give us a bit of an overview?
Oh, yeah. Project Bernini. I'm so excited about it because I actually had this idea that I pitched to my boss a couple months ago about something similar. I'm not going to give any details away, but it was something similar about modeling based off using AI to generate models and generate families. So Project Bernini is basically a text or natural language prompt. And I think they're also expanding it to be a natural language prompt / image / whatever else you want to input into it to generate a model element, whether that's Revit families, whether that's in manufacturing to model, start modeling the different parts, whether, it's any other industry. I think it will expand and touch all industries in a way. But essentially what they showed is you can put a natural language prompt, right, I want a tree that is, X amount high and, from the Northeast American region, and it will model something for you in a very few seconds. So that was really exciting to see, because I think the potential for that and time savings for people in every industry is going to be incredible.
Excellent. And obviously we've touched on AI a lot, but were there any other sort of key themes or trends that really captured like the event's focus this year?
Well, I think, sorry if I could just chime in also. One thing that stood out a lot is, although Autodesk was talking a lot about AI, they also talked about investing in end-to-end design. So I think what they're showing with AI is actually tying back to that like higher level idea of making sure that they are filling in the gaps to that end-to-end design. Like that Autodesk Assist, that's, filling a gap to end-to-end design. Forma, for example, being able to utilize Forma that was missing in that beginning phases of design and analysis is filling the gap of that end-to-end design.
Yeah, I would say what I heard was connected construction. It's really how to connect the data from design into construction, right? To have that, to get that flow of data from design to construction and probably even into manufacturing. So that's kind of what I heard. I don't know. How about you, Bill?
Yeah, a very strong parallel. I mentioned a minute ago that the two themes I heard were data and AI. Listening to a lot of the manufacturing talks, the data, the context for the importance of data was really just that, Steve. It's data existing in silos across an organization does nobody any good, and the power is really connecting that data. It's what I think it's what we at Team D3 as a part of Symetri do very well with our manufacturing clients, is help them with that aspect of their work, their challenges today. Somebody is creating an engineering part, some artifact, or that is creating data that needs to be reused in other parts of the organization, but they've kept it in a silo. It's in a SharePoint site. It's in a spreadsheet somewhere. But it's not being able to be leveraged across the organization. It is that power of unlocking that data as it's needed across the organization that really brings both insights and efficiency and productivity. So, and then what Autodesk is doing is also suggesting that it is that data that you need to train your AI models eventually. So the importance of really unlocking that data and creating what is thought of as a single source of truth applies to construction and the design side of construction absolutely as well.
Also, you all keep going back to the point of data, and I guess Bill, you touched on one of the case studies that caught your eye was a digital twin story. So I guess that all leads back down to the data as well, right? Could you maybe just touch a bit more on how that data is being used in the sort of more the manufacturing space? I guess, like you said, it's where everything starts, right?
Well, yes, from a product design perspective, so connecting the whole chain of the designer then needs interaction with somebody who's managing an ERP system. That data is needed in the quality department. That data is needed on the manufacturing shop floor. There's all these constituencies, if you will, around the organization that care about that engineered part, that data. And so a system, a solution that will connect all those people so that we can create a single source of truth. So for the manufacturer, one of the biggest challenges they have is waste. This does speak somewhat to the sustainability aspect we spoke about earlier, but if they build the wrong part because two parts of the organization are not communicating together, so they had to stop, they changed the design at some point, but it wasn't communicated to the manufacturing shop floor in time, they'll build the wrong part. That turns into scrap, that turns into waste, that turns into cost in the business. So that's an example of some of the efficiencies gained by really a connected product development lifecycle. For a moment, you mentioned owners, and there was a really good example, I thought, of digital twin and owners that came out. So in the manufacturing space, and this exists for anybody building, manufacturers are also owners, right? They own plants. If we use that Bridgestone example, if they buy a $4 million piece of machinery to bolt into the shop floor somewhere, they need a representation of that in a digital twin fashion, right? They need a 3D model, a functional model with BIM data of that machine they put on the shop floor, and they need to embed it. The value accrues when they can embed that into a digital twin of their factory floor. So they can see how the factory is operating. They can see bottlenecks, efficiencies. Autodesk did announce some software called FlexSim that allows for a simulation of the shop floor throughput. So all of the machines and all of the work cells following raw materials through the factory to identify inefficiencies, bottlenecks, waste, and making sure that when they put that $4 million piece of machinery in some place, that it has the right access to utilities, power, for example, or water or piping or what it might need. So the power of digital twin for an owner extends to the manufacturer as well.
Yeah, I wanted to add because I think also Autodesk is showing how they're investing by their Autodesk platform services. Like this is a big part of their investment, which is also directly tied to supporting owners. They recently, like in the last few years, put out a new product called Tandem, which is their own digital twin product that's connected through a platform service product. So they're really showing that they are investing in that digital twin. And again, like I'll emphasize that end to end from the beginning phases of a project to, product life cycle and that digital twin.
And I think this leads to my next point. So as we know, AU brings together a global community and obviously different industries. Do you find that everyone is sort of experiencing the same issues globally, or do you find that there are more differences between different countries, different industries?
I'm weary of over consuming the speaking portion of time here, Nicole. But
Go ahead.
Take that one, Del.
I think that we are finding we have far more alike than we are dissimilar, both from an industry perspective, be that construction or AEC or manufacturing, or the global nature of the businesses that our customers are running today. I mean, we are far more alike than we are different. I think across all those different silos or boundaries.
Yeah, I would agree. But one thing that I do see that maybe is a slight difference, and that's just, talking and working with, because I'm on our global team. So I talk a lot with our customers in other regions like the Nordics and the UK. And I find that actually they're a lot more invested and focused on sustainability because they have the municipality and the government having those regulations, where I think we don't have that just yet in the US. So we have a lot of, people wanting to build, but because there isn't, you have to do it this way, that they're kind of ahead of us in terms of how they're implementing sustainability in their designs and their building infrastructure and things like that.
It's interesting you say that about the UK, because we actually feel like a lot of our customers are saying the same to us. So they're really interested in hearing about it, but actually they're not quite ready yet, because maybe in the Nordics they have more mandates than we do, for example. So it's interesting.
I think the Nordics are leading it a little bit.
Yes, I would agree. I think it's a great point, observation. I'm sure I was in Stockholm and a few places a few months ago, and that was the main topic. It seems like sustainability was top of mind in every breakout session. Every conversation that we were having had a sustainability tied to it, and I came away feeling the same way. Like there's an existential drive in Europe, or at least the Nordics, around sustainability that we aren't yet experiencing here in the US. Starts with government, healthcare, other sort of things that are putting mandates in place that. So the sustainability is a part of the conversation here, but it is almost like an, oh, by the way, like it's got these sustainability benefits to you. I do think, though, when we look at our clients, certainly the largest of our clients carry in their own initiatives some sort of sustainability for their business, right? And it shows up differently, and I think some of them haven't figured it out yet. But I think it is in the mindset right now when people are investigating, like, where are we going to apply sustainability to our business? What are we going to focus on? So it's coming. It's good to be in front of that, I think, where we are with Symetri and our Symetri technology. I think it's certainly good to be in front of those conversations. I think it gives us an opportunity to lead in that space.
Yeah. I was going to say I think that's what benefits that us as a global organization, because we're working with those Nordic countries and those customers that are there and can bring that knowledge and all of that information and the way they're doing it back here to our customers who want to start implementing it, like you said, the bigger organizations who have that desire.
So Steve, Bill, you both said AU is important for you because you get to meet with our clients and our customers. Have you had any feedback from them in regards to the event? How did they find it from your perspective?
I could take that, Bill, initially. Yeah. So a lot of my clients, they love it. Year after year, they keep bringing more of their technical team to it. So I had I met a couple clients out, let's say last year's, and maybe one or two came. This year, they were bringing teams of like 8. I had one client bring up to 40 people, because it's just really a great way for them to learn, about the technology and also learn what other people are doing in the industry and how they're using the technology. So I'm seeing more of my clients attend year after year.
I'll reiterate elements of a comment I made earlier. I think it's eye-opening for the clients. I think we hear that from them when they see the breadth of solutions that Autodesk has available, the learning opportunities for them as business leaders, as well as for their technical staff, that the biggest challenge is to get them there, to get somebody from that client there, because once there, the value is obvious. So we also did a kind of a networking event one evening that we invited all of our clients to. So this was a joint Symetri and Team D3 event. And we had hundreds of people there for several hours. And it just, like, the feedback from that event, that portion of the AU event was fantastic as well. So it just gave them the opportunity to kind of network in a casual setting that's not so formal as, say, the AU exhibit floor.
I also think that once you go, like Steve said, like once you go and experience it for the first time, you see the value. I mean, we all know AU is expensive. It's one of the biggest and most expensive conferences of our industry. But I think it really proves how much value they're bringing, because it's not just about the sessions and learning what other people are doing and bringing that back to your industry, but it's like Bill said, networking and making those connections. Because if some of the smartest people I know are attending AU, right? I've met incredibly intelligent people, and then when I go home throughout the year, when I have problems that I don't know how to solve, when I have questions to different Autodesk software or different workflows, I have made those connections. I can reach out to those people and ask them, hey, have you experienced this? And they're teaching me on the spot, giving me advice and helping me bring that new information back to like my projects, my company, and essentially our clients. So it's really a way that you're going to forever meet these people that are going to help you, in the long run.
So it's more about that community rather than just going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Has anyone actually commented on that?
I mean, I think personally, I thought this year's AU blew Vegas out of the water. I mean, I was really skeptical because I went to the New Orleans AU, and it was terrible, to say the least. It was really disappointing. And then I went to Vegas, and Vegas was really great. But there was like some parts that you're like, I'm stuck inside. I haven't seen fresh air in 3 days. Yeah. Like there's all this noise and lights and gambling. So I think San Diego, although it didn't turn out to be as sunny as we had hoped, was like a literal breath of fresh air. And it was really well organized. And I thought it was better than Vegas.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I agree with that, right? I mean, love Vegas. The Venetian's beautiful, but you don't leave, right? There's no need to really leave. And San Diego, beautiful, beautiful town, right? City. We're walking around. You're getting fresh air, restaurants in close proximity. So no, it was great. I agree with you, Cher.
Is it there next year? Or where?
Nashville, baby.
Of
So
course.
Sure.
Yes.
But it's earlier. So this is the thing I'm concerned about. So in all the previous years, it's always been in November. This year, they pushed it to October. And then next year, they announced it's going to be in Nashville, which is, the capital of country music, which I love country music. So I'm really excited. But it's going to be in September. So it's like really early this next year.
Yeah, I questioned that. So I thought, what could they have really sort of worked on again until that point? I mean, will there be as many exciting announcements at that point? Yeah.
They should do it every quarter. They should do AU every quarter to catch up.
So what are the 3 key takeaways for AU 2024?
I will answer with a bit of a plug. One of the things I think that I most enjoyed, or perhaps was maybe most impressed with, was the interview that Andrew did with Casey Wasserman, who is the U.S. Olympic Committee chairman for 2028, is it? And it's in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's in Los Angeles. And so this was the general session, day 2 general session, and he was the tail end of that. So shameless plug if anybody watching this wants to go catch that portion of the interview. But he said a few things that were just really mind-blowing, and that is the Olympics are being built in for the LA Olympics aren't building any new venues. They're using existing venues. And he talked about the operational challenge of pulling this off in one of the largest cities in the world in a very compressed time frame. And he cites what their plan is to spend $150 million per week in the weeks leading up to the short, 9 weeks leading up to the Olympics, that will make them the largest construction project from a perspective of pace of spend, the largest construction project in the history of the United States. The whole interview was just fantastic. And the guy is so casual and laid back, like I wouldn't be sleeping 4 years in advance. Like if that were my job, I couldn't sleep now.
Yeah, it does sound pretty amazing.
That's my takeaway.
Perfect. And Steve?
Yeah, my takeaways, just the roadmap of the Autodesk Construction Cloud, where it's going, things that they'll probably release over time that we really can't share. That was one of the biggest. And then again, it's just a place for networking and connecting with the existing clients in the Autodesk leadership. It's, again, I found it really invaluable.
For me, it's kind of, as always, it's the Autodesk community that you're building. I mean, I really encourage people to get involved because the benefits far outweigh the awkward, cringy moments of trying to put yourself out there. I did a lot of firsts this year, and I was really happy that I did, from the Dynamo Hackathon to doing the meetups to being part of the advisory council. But building that community of, like I said, some of the smartest people I know, it's that I can reach out to throughout the year, and being able to then connect other people with them, from our customers to people I mentor and things like that. It really is what encompasses what I think AU is.
Great comment.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, guys. It was really interesting to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure our listeners will enjoy hearing them too.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole.